Rock and roll.
All right, so it's 6:01. Today is Monday, April 12th, and this is the Finance Committee. Currently in attendance is myself, Frederick McGovern, Joe Vetrano, Cheryl, and Drew. And on the agenda for tonight, we have acceptance of minutes, budget articles, discussion of wage and personal amendments, reserve fund transfers, which I see we do have one, RFP for zoning discussion, correspondence, public participation, calendar as may arise. And you'll let us know, Charlie, if you need that executive session.
I would say no. I haven't met with the board since I saw you last week, so there's really nothing more.
Okay, so we
than last
won't need the executive session. Okay, so the first order of business would be the acceptance of minutes, which were sent out by Linda the other day. So the members present were Fred, Joe, Tom, Cheryl, and Deb. So Joe, Cheryl, and myself, we're the ones that can vote on it. So would one of either Joe or Cheryl make a motion to approve the minutes for April 5th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Joe?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
And myself is yes. That takes care of the minutes for the previous meeting. Budget articles. So Sandy sent out a new spreadsheet. I need to pull it up. Has everybody had a chance to look at that?
Mhm.
I know it was kind of recent, it went out today. So the number that I see at the bottom on the expenditures, that of course does not include any of the contracts that we're working on. And that does not take into account the chance that Kingston and Plimpton vote for the full budget. Is that a correct assessment?
Yeah, so you can see on the synopsis page that
Okay,
it does not include the resource officer. But
Yep.
I put next to the $50,000 figure, how much it would be if Silver Lake went through as proposed, and then if the resource officer went through, how much in a minus, how much we would go into that 300.
okay. What line is that on the synopsis?
If you're looking on the synopsis page,
Yep,
it's on line 20 in the blue column.
got it.
If
Yeah.
Silver Lake is voted, we would go 80,811 into that.
Okay,
We also pay for the resource officer, that'd be 116,811.
okay. Any word on the vocational? Did we get it? Any,
Have not heard anything. I don't know that that the school committee was presented with anything other than what they had right now. So
yeah,
I
I was
don't
just
know
wondering.
if that will come through
Yeah,
or not.
I was hoping to get to around 50.
Yeah,
Anybody have any other comments?
Mm.
Are there any articles that we hadn't voted for that we actually got more information on?
not that I know of.
Not that I saw either. Just take a quick look through. Yeah. Okay, does anybody have anything else that they want to discuss in the budget article section at this time? We can always come back.
Yeah.
All righty. Do we have any wage and personnel amendments, Charlie?
No, still working on everything. So what I did, but I did want to say that I left things flexible, working with Sandy, so that the areas where we had not completed the work are still available, in the sense of, for instance, the grades 6 and 7. We left it loose in saying that you all and the selectmen were considering the possibility of changing grades for those positions or changing wages outside of any general wage increase. That, for instance, the general wage increase issue is also there without a specific figure in the sense of no percentage or something like that. So you will still have the flexibility between now and, I would assume, let's say May 3rd, to make any recommendations on those areas where we've left things flexible.
Okay. Does anybody want to make any recommendations now? I mean, we're 80,000 into that $300,000 cushion at the so do we want to go further in that, or do we want to hold the line and say we don't want to go any further and hope that it actually gets better?
I'm all for saying we don't go any further.
Yeah, I got to agree. We're too deep in now.
All right,
Yeah.
so at the moment, as of today, we won't make any changes. But again, we'll revisit this at each meeting because things can change. We might find all of a sudden that we get an influx of additional funds into the town that make the numbers look a little better, that sort of stuff. So we're not saying,
There's also some funding choices that we can make, that we can look at later as we get down the road.
okay. All right, the big one for tonight is the RFP for zoning discussions that we've been putting off. So we have the two proposals. I don't know if anybody's actually had the chance to go through it. I finally did.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, maybe just a little illumination from Charlie or whatever. I mean, one seems to be a la carte, and the other
Yeah.
one kind of shockingly seems to be like all in, we're doing it all. And I'm struck by am I misinterpreting or?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering myself.
I will tell you that I've not looked at either proposals. I've been working on other projects.
Okay.
Right now. I'm happy. I mean, if you don't make a decision tonight, then I'm happy to do that. Send you my comments during the next 2 weeks, because you're not meeting next Monday.
Yeah.
And be able to come back on the 26th and make a decision one way or the other. Either you pick a firm or you say, nope, we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to provide comments in between, but I have not looked at the two proposals one iota.
Okay. Fred, I mean, maybe if I just could weigh in, I mean, as I read
Oh,
these, if we could actually get Bobrowski to do a complete, then I think that behooves us to go that way. The other firm is more a la carte, and there may be what we would definitely get out of that is sort of a comprehensive multifamily view, but we'd
Yeah.
only get like 4 or 5 bylaws, it looked like.
Yeah, what I liked about the Bobrowski one is they broke it up into 2 categories, category 1 and category 2, with the category 1 being, hey, these are the easy stuff. We should be able to knock these out real quick, like renumbering, relocation with laws, cosmetic changes. You can get those done really pretty quick. And then the next one was like, okay, let's get the ones that are not in legal conformity, we'll get those updated to reflect new case laws and statutes and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I really kind of like that approach. That way, at least I feel like you're getting something for the money that we're spending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to you go with like, go big and go home. It's either, oh, we're going for multifamily. That's what we want. And then it all
Right.
are at town meeting, and what do we have to show for our money?
Right.
I mean, personally, that's what I was leaning toward, but I wanted to see what the rest of the board thought.
Yeah. Cheryl?
Yeah, I think the same way as Tom does with that one.
Okay.
I would hate to get the a la carte one done and then find that we had all these little non-conforming
Exactly.
pieces at the end,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Right.
scrub it once, and then we'll go after the uglies.
All right.
Yeah, I think Bobrowski was definitely the better of the two proposals.
Yeah.
From what I saw, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be fine with them.
Okay, Charlie, so we're leaning toward Bobrowski.
Okay, well-
So in like 2 weeks, could you like maybe just
Absolutely,
both of them and make sure we're not missing anything?
yes.
Yeah.
But
I worry about little things like Bobrowski uses bylaw in the singular. And the other guys use
Yeah.
it in plural terms, right? So I'm lawyers, I want to just make sure we're doing our thing here.
right. So I think we all agreement that we're leaning toward a specific firm, but we would prefer more of the expert, Charlie, to actually at least
Explain it.
make sure that we're not missing something obvious and, shooting ourselves in the foot.
Mm.
Is
So
there any
we'll-
kind of correspondence you want me to send to either firm in the meantime? Bobrowski's firm did reach out with an email just to find out what was going on, and I had said to them that you'd be discussing it tonight and get back to them. So is there anything you want me to send to either firm, questions, or just we're still looking at it, or something like that?
I think we'll be making a final decision when we meet next time. So, I mean, I don't have a problem of saying we had a detailed discussion of it tonight, that we didn't want to vote on it tonight. We wanted to let the members at least do their due diligence or research and everything else like that. But the vote to select the firm will be the next meeting that we have
Okay,
2 weeks from tonight.
okay.
And maybe suggest that we're down to 2 firms. I don't know. I
Yeah.
presume they have no idea how many firms we're
Exactly.
looking at, right? So if
Okay.
they know that we're down to the finals, at least they'll stay in the game.
And you never know, they might even say, hey, we really want this, and you get something else,
Right. True.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
So,
Good. Okay.
all right, so if we're all done with that, we're all going to be in agreement. This is the one we're kind of thinking of. Charlie will give us his thoughts, and then that'll be our final recommendation at that time. We'll make the final vote at that meeting, so.
Sorry, just one last question. So
Yes.
one of the things that they did say was they had wondered if there was any additional information that was needed from them. Do you want me to just correspond with Charlie in the next 2 weeks to see if there's specific questions he wants or you want asked, like to the fact of, are you indeed saying you can redo the whole thing, or?
Well, that would also be, that would kind of be nice to know.
Okay.
Because as Tom mentions, they just said by law as opposed
Okay.
to by law.
Bylaws. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think if you read the context as a whole, right? When they refer to the bylaw, they're talking about the collective bylaw of the town.
right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Then they, in their next statement, they talk about individual bylaws.
Right.
So I think by saying bylaw legally, they're talking about the complete bylaw for the town.
Yeah, they
Okay.
say like the ZBL for the entire zoning bylaw.
Right. And that was my read too. I just want to make
That's
sure.
what I thought
You're
too.
right.
Yeah, you only scared me when you mentioned that, Tom. So I'm like, my thought is Charlie's going to be, he might, when he's doing his review, he's going to be the one that's going to come up with the questions. I mean,
Okay.
question.
I'll keep in touch with Charlie.
So I think we're good, right, guys? Right, everybody?
Yeah.
All right. So if nobody's got anything else, we'll move on to correspondence, which I know we have some.
We do. So, well, why don't I start off with the one from, to make sure you all saw the one from Shirley Graff, who was the one who proposed, actually the resident who proposed the ban on the small alcoholic beverage bottles.
Mhm.
And she just wanted to know, I think you saw, she said she has a hard time communicating via Zoom, and she just wanted to know if you had any questions. So, and if I could send her that information if you did, just so I did advise her that you had already voted it, but I told her that I would make sure to send this along and then see if there were any further questions you wanted me to ask back to her or not.
All right, then. I have no questions, but Joe, Tom, Drew, Deb.
No, I mean, I think she did a nice job putting together the petition
She did,
and
right.
the letter. It makes a lot of sense. I just don't know how you can ban something that, it's more of a, I don't know, I get it. I don't want to be picking up trash in front of my house either. I mean, it's
But
the
if we-
education of the community to not do that stuff.
Right.
But how do you ban alcohol? It's like
Yeah.
prohibition.
And then they go to Hanson or East Bridgewater or Bridgewater and buy them anyway. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it'd be one thing if like the state voted that we could enact like a deposit on it and it was up to each local community. That I might,
$6.
yeah, but not
It's not.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. So I don't have any other questions, but if any member does, please let Linda know. She will
No.
review that to her.
Sure.
So this correspondence 1.
And then you saw the correspondence from Charlie with the link on the local aid.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think that most after
No,
that.
no
was all
action
to do
there
with the
other
RFP.
than read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda, what about the correspondence from Chief Averis?
Yes, and thank you for pointing that out. I don't think I printed that one out, and I meant to. Right, it's just the one from Chief Rivera was discussing the fact that originally I believe that he had proposed an increase in overtime hours for his administrative assistant, and now he just wanted to clarify with you, either have a meeting with you or clarify with you. I don't know if you want to meet with him again or not, about
He's
the
online
fact
right
that
now,
he was
so.
not going to increase the budget to do that.
Yeah.
He did speak with me and he said that she had been picking up extra duties, but he meant to take the extra money that he was going to give her in her budget from the fire wages, the call firefighter portion of the fire wages. He did say he'd be willing, he can't meet with you, well, next week's a holiday anyways.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that he could meet with you the week after.
So are we just switching numbers from 2 lines and it still balances? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
His
Yeah.
bottom line budget would come out, but the clerical budget is separate from the fire wages budget. The call firefighters are included in the fire wages. So you would have to reduce the fire wages and add to the fire clerical. But he said it would all come out the same. I don't have the figure, so
Yeah.
I will be in touch with him and ask him or he could come in and talk to you.
Yeah,
on,
I mean, if it's a net wash, I don't have any objection. Obviously, I need to see the figures, but
Yep.
I don't have an objection. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No.
I'd just be curious, Sandy, is the fire wages number has risk in it where Amy's number doesn't, right? So in the sense that more fire is more wages.
Yes, it
Right,
has,
so-
right, so the fire wages budget has the wages, the full-time wages, the call wages, the overtime, holiday, everything is all built into that.
Yeah, okay,
I can't imagine it's going to be a huge amount change, but
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does
Okay.
have, like you said, it
Just
does have
sounds like a
some risk
wash.
to it,
Well,
yeah.
right.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so if we can get the numbers, we can knock that one off at our next meeting in 2 weeks then.
Okay.
Do you want me to schedule him to come in, or do you want me to just tell him you feel fairly confident with what he already sent in as long as you get the numbers?
My feeling is I'm confident. I just need to see the numbers to make sure they balance. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No, I agree, Fred.
Yeah, I agree too,
Okay.
Fred.
I'll let him know that.
Okay, any other correspondence then?
Just the reserve fund transfer, I believe.
Yep. So let's deal with that one. Saw that come through pretty late in the game, so I haven't read that one yet. So Charlie, we got a reserve fund transfer.
Yeah, on the telephone budget, which I knew was going to be coming at some point. Basically, we've not completely done the transfer from 8x8, which is, or not from, sorry, to 8x8, which is the voice over IP phone system. And so we still have lines with Verizon that remain. So there's a little bit of overlap in terms of paying both bills, but also some lines, are still, we're paying the Verizon cost. Working with Caesar to minimize that amount in this, even during the next few months, hoping to get some of that work done before the end of the year and then into the summer. So, but for the year we're in now, we grossly under budgeted. I think we budgeted on the basis that everything would be converted over. And we wouldn't need any more money. And that's not going to happen. I mean, we're in the middle of, well, we'll probably have the phone bills, obviously for April, May, and June, and I'm not sure if the bill that I'm just paying right now is for March or for April, but we're tapped out. I think I wrote we have $55 left.
Mm.
And Sandy ran the numbers several weeks ago and indicated there's going to be something on the order of $10,000 that we'd be in the hole, which is considerable compared to the size of the budget. But short of turning people's phones off, there's not much I can do at this point. I just have to continue working with Caesar to complete the project, which is what we were hoping to do, and that's sort of where the unexpected falls in. It's not extraordinary, it's more the unexpected side of the coin.
Yeah. What's our
I
current?
don't want to keep coming into you every week for this bill and that bill and everything else. I may need something at the end of June or something, but
Yeah, so it'll be similar to what we did last year, where we give you like, we know you're gonna get a number of legal bills and here's the money to cover it, sort of, right?
Mhm.
What's the reserve fund balance currently?
1 second, it's still pretty high. Let me grab it out of here.
Yeah,
So we're at,
I can't even remember the last reserve fund transfer, so that's why.
yeah, we're at
I've never done
71,000.
one.
We're at 71,225. You've only done 2 this year, one for the
Wow.
fire department sign and one for the
Yeah.
building inspector replacement in case
Yep.
somebody has to go review something that Rob can't because of legal issues.
Right, yep, okay. All right, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $10,000 then?
So moved.
Do I have?
Second,
Okay, let's do a roll call vote there. Joe,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Tom,
yes.
Deb,
You're muted, Deb.
got to mute off. Or you can raise your hand and say yes, or
Nod your head.
nod your head one way or the other.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Did they check out Metro PCS?
that would be entirely cell phones, which we're not on. We still
Oh.
need
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, yes.
And Drew,
Yes.
and myself is a yes, so I'll print, is there something out, the department heads to sign it first, right?
Yes. They need
Right.
to- We'll go see Linda sign it tomorrow, but then we'll slowly gather signatures.
All right, I can probably swing up sometime tomorrow if you want me to sign it.
Sounds good.
Ready?
And then we could just email it out to everybody else then. So I'll
Sure.
like late afternoon or something like that, so. All right, anything else for correspondence then?
I have nothing else.
All right, public participation. Do we have any public participation?
Hey Fred, this is Gordon.
Gordon, I knew you were gonna. You.
I just, I wanted to just double check numbers on the spreadsheet.
Yep.
So if you go to the page 1 synopsis,
Sure.
Gordon, I'm going to let you know right now that you may not have the current version.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so for total revenue, 26,620,469. 18. Is that still true?
What line are you looking at?
Revenue. No, I
Uh,
have 26,553,526.18. Well, forget the 18, but
526. So that's a decrease. 26,553,526.
Yep.
Okay. And then what do you have for Article 4 total right now? Line 47B.
25,835,948. You're saying line 25, what?
It was the sub B47.
P47. 25,835,948.
948.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gordon, after we talked, I went back at it again. And I
Okay.
think that I had caught a couple of things.
Okay.
All right,
Yep, just when I was looking quickly, I was 27K in the hole, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Sure. Does anybody else want to make any discussions, comments? Hearing none. We will go to calendar. And we are scheduled to meet in 2 weeks on the 26th. And then we will meet on the 3rd, and then we will meet about an hour before town meeting the following week. I don't think we need to plan out after town meeting at this point. Obviously, we still have to meet for, like, in case reserve fund transfers come up, but it won't be on a weekly basis anymore. So we'll probably at that point go to every 2 weeks, but we'll adjust the calendar. Probably once we get into May, we'll look to May and make decisions at that point.
Okay.
As something that they want to propose now. So, okay, last thing, as may raise, anything that anybody else wants to talk about?
Oh, sorry, I was a minute or two late. Were minutes approved?
Yes, they were, Tom.
Okay, I'll sign them. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so hearing no other business then, and we don't have to do the executive session with Charlie, I believe we've covered everything on our agenda for tonight. So unless anybody has any objections, if somebody would like to make a motion to end tonight's finance committee meeting at 6:27.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All right, we'll do a roll call vote then. Joe,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Drew,
Yes.
and myself is a yes. Okay, everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you all in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sounds good.
See you
Take care.
then.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dee.
Wow.
Bye.
Sorry.